Okay, it's time to repair the speed controller for the White 277. This unit has a patent and a part number on it. And remember when we opened it the first time, it was covered in goo. And that goo was from the leaked capacitor. I think it would have been called a condenser when this was built. But it's marked 50 and then microfarad, and there may be a decimal, which would make sense for it to be a 0.5 microfarad capacitor in this size and voltage. I need a replacement, and I was unable to find one that was rated similarly in a can shape like this. So I decided to just go with what I could find and see if that would work. Because, as the patent states, the capacitor is just to help reduce arcing on the contacts. The patent shows that this device uses the electromagnet coil on the far end of the machine to vibrate the upper contact, and then the piston with the cone on it gradually moves the lower contact up until it is interfering with or touching the upper contact as it vibrates. And the amount of time it vibrates and how close it vibrates to the lower contact determines how much power is being given to the motor. So it's kind of a mechanical pulse width modulation. And when you finally push the controller all the way up, it closes the contacts entirely, and the vibration isn't enough to open them. So this capacitor is one I picked up at American Science and Surplus, which is a local surplus and doodad place with a lot of random bits and pieces. It's a 250 volt capacitor. I forget if it's a motor start or a lamp start or some sort of capacitor like that, but I think it might do the job. So I put it in, and then there is a little bit of fine-tuning in bending the contacts and bending the vibrating bar with the weight on the end that gets acted on by the electromagnet. And I did get that to function again, so that when I reinstalled it, it is running the motor at a variety of speeds. If I'd been unable to repair this, I was just going to cut it off and put a standard resistive pedal on, like most sewing machines of this era have. But I thought it would be neat to get it working so that if someone in the future wants to do a full restoration on this machine, they'll have the original speed controller and be able to choose whether to try and replace the innards with modern electronics and reuse the container, or whatever they wanted to do. But now it does have some speed control capabilities and seems to be working, so I will be looking to get a new home for the White 277. It's a straight stitch machine, but it is a slightly newer white rotary than the old family rotary that was on the channel earlier. So it has forward and reverse, which is really important. A lot of people are very used to being able to back stitch and tack with a little reverse on their machine. So it is still a bit odd though, because it's runs, the hand wheel turns reverse, quote unquote, from a Singer. So it should be a good machine, and I was able to get it from where it had been living, where it certainly was not getting cleaned enough, and get it working again, and hopefully its new home, it will be used and taken care of. There we go. Alright, so I have fixed the speed controller for this 277. Remember when we first got it, it only ran the motor at full speed. And I looked up the patent, and the speed controller has a vibrating contact that is supposed to intermittently provide power to the motor. And if I gently contact it now, you can see the motor start to run. And because it's got the rubber tire on it, you do need to give the machine a little bit of a spin, but it has a speed range now. So I am going to take my sanding block here. I'm just gonna put that on the there on the rubber tire to get the glaze off the rubber tire so that it has better traction. But that is the white 277 all ready to go, and the foot controller with a new capacitor in it is working better. Is working better. I couldn't find an exact replacement, but I think that's going to be good enough.